All the disrespect, the free play, better button check. Button check.
What is up, Button Check family? Welcome back to yet again a beautiful week, a full week of checking these buttons. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. Chapters down below as always if you guys want to skip around to a certain subject, and of course that subscribe button is right there. Please like, subscribe, help the channel grow. Thank you guys for taking the time. And of course, hope you guys had a good weekend. I didn't post over the weekend because I needed the rest. Literally, I spent one day where half the day I was just in bed, just trying to get some Z's and trying to reboot my mind, you know what I'm saying? Got in my meditation, got in my prayer, and now we are back to check these buttons. Thank you guys for tuning in once again. We got a lot. We got a hot one today. So without further ado, ladies and gents, let's go. All right, now for them King of Fighters 15 patch notes buttons that need to be checked. Okay, so if you don't know, we did a reaction video, right, to, what was it, like season 2 or something like that, King of Fighters, just in a couple videos ago, right? Well, now they released patch notes. Some of you probably already aware because they did this a couple days ago. But what you might not be aware of, there was even an update of the update, and that would make sense in a second here. Okay, so what we know so far, SNK posted this a couple days ago, right? Talking about KOF15 season 2 starts Jan 17th, so literally like a day by the time you watch the video. What is that, like Tuesday? Then also we learned that KOF15 is going to be the main title for EVO Japan. Then of course we saw the Shingo trailer, and then also the patch notes. Right here you see latest patch notes of version 1.62. So if you look over the patch notes so far, a lot of responses, or I should say a lot of good responses. People are like, yo, these patch notes are godlike. A lot of people really believe that they're gonna rejuvenate and just make the game, you know, that much better. But then going back to what I said earlier about an update of an update, what I was talking about is the patch notes, right? So if you look at the patch notes, and I'm not talking about the actual notes themselves, I'm talking about the format in which they display them to everybody, right? Pretty generic and typical patch note form. But somebody by the name of Zoldyck, if I'm saying that correctly, at ed_Luzena, right here, or Luzena, says, just another normal person seeing how the planet spins through tweets. Well, that's when it kind of updates right here, almost like a game changer, right? Because they say patch notes with visual inputs, please share with all KOF community. We hope this doc comes useful. So I'm gonna put Zoldyck's information down below. Definitely check them out, show them some love. Of course, they get all the credit. And I'm assuming them, I'm not sure if anybody else was, co-creator of this, but I'm definitely assuming they had something to do with this. Okay, so then if you look at his patch notes, he updated them. Of course, they're the same inputs and whatnot, but he got the visuals there. So I'm gonna put them side by side, SNKs with this young man's patch notes. And look at that, like, holy shit. Why? I think the first thought is, how come we haven't been doing this sooner? Like, look at that. You have the inputs, the name next to it. Then you have like the patch notes right there on the right side. And then you have the picture of the character, like the shadow right behind all of this. It's beautiful. Like, this makes perfect sense. And I'm just gonna keep on going down and comparing them all the way to he does it for everybody. And it's beautiful. A lot of people reacting like this is how every patch note should be released. I wouldn't be surprised if I saw devs start paying attention to this and like, holy shit, we need to step up the game, because I feel like patch notes have been just so generic, right? They're just inputs, and a lot of times I don't even read them because I'm like, either they're hard to understand, or what you usually do, I just look for my main, the people that I play, right? I want to see what they're buffed or they're nerfed or they're still viable or anything like that, and then I keep going. I don't even look at the rest of the characters. But this is super easy to understand. It's beautiful, and I noticed right here at the bottom where it says editor notes, he says, feel free to make any observation on my Twitter about any error in the image. We designed it in some hours, so could have errors. Text wasn't modified. We only added visuals to make it easier to read and some tools to navigate into the document. Could be updates if SNK posts any addendum. Share this document with the community, and we hope it comes useful in the second season that's about to start. Thank y'all. So there it is, KOF season 2 about to start basically tomorrow. We got the patch notes. We got the updated, prettier patch notes. Do you think devs will actually start paying attention? Have you seen something like this before? I mean, the typical ones I'm usually, used to seeing in the FGC look pretty generic. This, I think, takes it to the Neville. What the hell is the Neville? Is we talking about Aaron Neville? I have no idea. Takes it to another level, but do you think devs will actually pay attention and eventually step up their game? Let me know. All right, next up for them updated Matcherino versus Arturo, aka NYCFurby buttons. that need to be checked. Okay, so this is an ongoing weird ass story, right? There's been a little more posted since the last time we talked. I've still been waiting for Matcherino to update their site because I was like, if we're gonna talk any more about this, we need more facts, we need more proof, right? So far, a lot of people were saying it didn't look good for Saban due to the recent interview with Rob TV and other things, but a lot of people are still waiting for more facts. And I always said I will, provide both sides of the story because that's what needs to be done, right? Because some people could actually be innocent or they could be guilty, but you really won't know until you get the facts. And recently, I would say within the last few days, there's been an interesting turn of events, right? Because somebody by the name of Fanatiq, right? This is my first time learning of him. I'm gonna put his profile on the screen, link in the description field, so definitely check him out. It's kind of unusual. I believe he is FGC at heart, like at one time, growing up playing fighting games and whatnot, but primarily he's a songwriter producer. And I believe over the last week or so, Fanatiq has made a couple videos regarding this, right? Once again, they're posted on, I believe, on his YouTube channel. I'll put the link down below so you can check out the whole video because we're just gonna check out some sample clips. And he does bring up, obviously I watched the whole thing. I wanna say it's like over 20 minutes long, but there's some interesting topics or subjects, or we could even say receipts, right? That he brings up. I'm like, kind of makes you think. Check it out.
It goes down sometimes. That guy, Faulty, is a known Dragon Ball FighterZ player, particularly talented, very, very relevant in the scene. He had 4 different Matcherino accounts. Why? Because there was a problem where sometimes it seemed like accounts would get deactivated and he couldn't get back into them, so he had to create new ones. So then now that means that someone has to decide which of these Matcherino accounts do I need to be sending to? Which one is the active one that you still have access to? And then despite all of that, there were still situations where he couldn't log in. So because of that, it starts becoming easier because of the piss poor functioning of Matcherino to just start doing it via PayPal, especially when you're managing that sheer amount, which is what Art started doing. Now, is that a violation of terms of service? Absolutely. Was Matcherino completely aware of it? Absolutely. As I showed you guys in the previous video, they were completely aware. They're processing all of these payments. They know when someone is cashing out to themselves. They are completely aware of this, but they turned a blind eye because they were aware of all of the piss poor functioning of their website. It was something that couldn't be helped. That's why they're silent. That's why they're going through covering up their tracks, trying to prevent people from understanding this. But I have the receipts. Fortunately, people save information like this. So now that they've gone deleting some of these conversations to try to cover their tracks, we already have it logged. But the fact is, they could be doing better. They could have saved themselves. It's still not too late. They're so defensive.
They were giving me one-word answers. Like, the shit was so different.
And I understand why this would happen, because of their piss poor business model. Let's talk about another failing of Matcherino. Matcherino ran out of money, and so once they ran out of money, they decided that they had to cut half of their staff, which they did. But they decided that they wanted to keep Arturo Sanchez still on the books. Not as a paid employee, but still expecting him to do the work, building up their clientele, managing these tournaments, and helping them maintain their presence within the fighting game community as he was a trusted person. They used him to do this while not paying him for a year. So then at this point, Art begins saying, hey, what I need is I'm gonna need some payments from these Matcherinos to help cover expenses now that Matcherino is no longer paying me. So then that means now I need to be able to take a percentage from the pot. So he publicly announced this to both the tournament organizers and the players and the people donating. I have records of organizers point blank saying, yes, you made it crystal clear, and we all made an agreement that you would receive 15%.
So some of the key points real quick we'll talk about that stood out to me, where he was like, Saban was in the dark because he contacted Matcherino saying, why would y'all make this statement without contacting me first? Apparently they tried to, but they sent like the message to the wrong email of his, so it never got to him, and then they went ahead and made the statement. Then Art was completely confused because he was actually on a phone call with a rep from Matcherino, and while he was on that call, some of them were either apologizing or saying that, you know, that they would sort things out. Then they show like different receipts or like posts and whatnot where Art was asking for help from Matcherino and like publicly saying he was so backlogged, he had so much to do because he was running so many different tournaments and whatnot, and then heading up this whole PC movement that he needed help. Then one of the main ones that stood out, he said that Matcherino, I guess they were having financial difficulties. They laid off like at some point 50% of their employees. So then Arturo's was like, yo, we gotta make some kind of negotiation because I'm basically representing y'all, putting y'all out there, but I'm not getting paid. So they worked out some type of agreement, right? Where he can get like 10 or 15%. Then you can see right here where Art kind of starts rebuttaling or kind of going at people that are making accusations, talking about like, you guys are posting these numbers and missing monies, but you're not really taking into account what's due through like PayPal and their percentages and whatnot. Like, I can verify these things. Fanatiq goes on to say like, this is why Matcherino is being silent, because they're basically covering up a lot of mistakes they made on their part. And as of right now, Matcherino still hasn't said anything. They just left that statement out there from like, what, a week, 2 weeks ago, and have literally said nothing about it as far as I could tell. But of course, you're gonna still have lingering questions from the other side where people are like, well, why, how come that Rob TV interview played out so bad for Saban, with evading the questions and not showing receipts in the first place? How come it took him months upon months to pay people out? There's still gonna be doubts, obviously, right? Both sides of the fence. But I think what Arturo's doing here with Fanatiq is like slowly trying to clear the name and like kind of go over things like one at a time. What's interesting though is the way it kind of just started, right? It started so fast. Matcherino made this huge statement. Everybody kind of jumped on it, and it just seemed like one after another to where it looked bad, then it looked worse, then it looked like really bad. Then you had like what, East Coast Throwdown or something, like right off the bat come out and ban Saban. And then on top of that, you had that interview between him and Rob TV that didn't look good. And then right after that, Spooky, right? Team Spooky, who's been rolling with Saban, right, since like day one, make that public announcement, say, we are parting ways, I'm releasing him, I wish him the best of luck, like right after that interview. And the other thing I noticed is people were coming out, but like, you also don't understand, Art is horrible at speaking. They were saying he's horrible at public speaking. I even noticed Justin Wong posting that, saying like, yo, he's horrible at that. Let other people, I think Fanatiq's gonna do a better job at talking and presenting these receipts, because that's not him. And recently, it seems like all the claims that Fanatiq and Arturo are making one by one, kind of, trying to cover the steps and show receipts, do seem, like I said, that they're showing some interesting points, but in return, doesn't seem like it's receiving any updates or any reactions from the community, meaning the tournaments that have already banned him, and of course, Matcherino themselves. As of right now, still nothing at all. And whether you choose to believe the first part or the second part, whether innocent or guilty, to me, it does seem kind of weird, and I could be off, let me know in the comments if you think I'm off, but it does seem kind of weird that Matcherino still has said nothing with actual receipts or proofs or anything. They said he's mishandled it, but he's mishandled monies and whatnot. He's no longer working with us. We hope he gets it right with the players. Y'all remember that original statement, but never really like any specifics. But then for Arturo to come out and be like, yo, I've already talked to them like before and during all this, like on the phone, and a lot of them, or at least one of the main guys, whatever, knew exactly what was going on, that raises a lot of questions like, yo, what the hell is really going on with Matcherino? Because honestly, I don't know how Matcherino works. I'm not the one here to sit here and tell you like, oh yeah, let me tell you 1, 2, 3. No, I don't know how many people work there and whatnot, but it does seem like it could be a case where Art was communicating with 1 or 2 people within the company, and they knew what time it was, but I guess the rest, maybe the rest of the big wigs or whoever else didn't exactly know, kind of got jumbled up, you're banned. Almost like you had the approval, but you didn't really have the approval, you know what I'm saying? Like Saban put it one time, it's a case of the left hand not really knowing what the right hand is doing within the organization. So there it is, and it sucks, because it's a big thing, right? A lot of people didn't want to believe any of this because they're like, yo, he's been respected. He's done so many important things within the FGC, been beloved, figure in the FGC for a long time. Now this comes out, it looked bad. He's still trying to prove his innocence. We haven't had any update from Matcherino or anything like that. Will we see anything? Will this be overturned? Who knows? Y'all let me know what y'all think. And there it is one more time. Definitely let me know how you guys are feeling. Like I said, some hot topics today. I can see this going on for a while. I'm gonna try to do my best to wait till there's like a big update, because I feel like you can talk about something too much, you know what I'm saying? So let's see what happens. On the KOF side, I think that's promising because I do think it's a game changer. So I don't know, what do y'all think? But of course, we wanna show love to the comments from the last video. So if you comment on this video, definitely do that, take the time, because I love reading the comments, and now we're featuring comments from the previous video. So let's go into some of them today. And one that stood out right here that really blew my mind is that AZ4Z3L_87. Is that as Forzel or something? I'm sure I'm butchering. Anyway, right here says, love what you do, man. Keep it up. Many blessings to you and your fam. And of course, I couldn't help but notice the $50 donation. Thank you for the massive love, man. Really, I was like, holy shit. Because I really honestly forget a lot of times that that's even a feature on YouTube. So thank you guys. It really makes a difference. And right here, Lord GXK did the same thing. Right here saying that Tekken segment, and then donated the 5 bones. Yo, thank you for the love, man. I really appreciate it. And wrapping it up right here with Art Dog 0100 said, not gonna lie, I'd kick in a few dollars for that Ness Boogie commentary. Thank you for the love. There it is, ladies and gents. Thank you guys for the massive love. We will see you soon. If not tomorrow, definitely the next day. Hope you have a beautiful week. And as always, I don't know what it is, but I know it's about to get better. Love you guys forever. Peace. Blah, blah, blah. Subscribe.
Yes, 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 yes. No, no, no. Yes, 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 yes. No, no,